Those 4 words shattered the fragile calm of a rainy Portland evening. Caroline Reed froze in the doorway of her daughter's bedroom, her hand still clutching the laundry basket. Sophie sat cross-legged on the floor, her stuffed rabbit pressed tightly against her chest, her wide hazel eyes trembling with a fear no 6-year-old should ever know. Caroline's first instinct was to kneel and comfort her child. But something about Sophie's voice, a quiver laced with urgency, a snake to chill through her veins. "Sweetheart," she whispered, crouching down, "what do you mean?" Sophie's lips trembled. "Daddy's a broken bar. He and Grandma are gonna make you go away. We have to leave before the fire." Caroline's heart slammed against her ribs. Fire? Make her go away? It sounded absurd, like fragments of a nightmare a child might conjure. Daniele, her husband of 8 years, was a steady, charming man who brought flowers home on Fridays and kissed Sophie's forehead every night. And Evelyn, his mother, though cold and opinionated, had always treated Caroline with stiff politeness. Surely, this was nothing more than a misunderstanding. But then Sophie added a detail that stole Caroline's breath. "They said you don't know about the papers in Daddy's desk. Cracks in the perfect life." That night, long after Sophie had drifted into an uneasy sleep, Caroline lay awake beside Daniel, listening to the slow, even rhythm of his breathing. Her mind replayed Sophie's words in an endless loop. The papers in Daddy's desk. She tried to dismiss kids overhear things, twist conversations, but curiosity gnawed at her until it became unbearable. At 2 a.m., she slipped quietly into the home office. The desk drawer creaked softly as she pulled it open. Bills. Receipts. Nothing unusual. Her pulse slowed a broken bar until her fingers grazed a large manila envelope wedged beneath a folder of tax returns. Inside, she found life insurance documents and new policies with startlingly high payouts. Policies in her name. And the signature, a broken bar, hers, forged with unsettling precision. Her knees nearly buckled. Caroline pressed a trembling hand to her mouth to stifle a cry. It couldn't be real. Daniel couldn't do this. But the dates, the witnesses, the cold legal language left no room for doubt. Someone was planning for her death to be profitable. A mother's instinct. The following morning, Caroline masked her panic behind a careful smile as she made breakfast. Daniel sat at the table, reading the newspaper, his features calm and familiar. He looked up, gave her that easy grin that had once made her feel safe. But now, every gesture felt loaded. The way Evelyn called to check in 3 times that morning. The way Daniel casually asked if she'd be home that evening. The way he watched her, as if gauging something. Caroline's mind raced. If Sophie hadn't spoken, if she hadn't found those papers, she might have walked blindly into a broken bar. Into what? An accidental fire? A late-night break-in? The possibilities made her stomach churn. She needed a plan. But she couldn't run blindly. Portland was their home, her job, Sophie's school, their life. And Daniel controlled their finances, their car, even the spare keys. Every move had to be careful, deliberate. Whispers in the walls. That evening, while Daniel was out with Evelyn, Caroline searched the old house for options. The property had belonged to Daniel's family for generations, a creaky Victorian with a basement full of forgotten relics. Sophie followed quietly, clutching her rabbit, as Caroline probed for anything that could buy them time. In the basement, behind a rotting bookshelf, Sophie tugged on a loose wooden panel. "Mommy," she whispered. "Look." The panel gave way to reveal a narrow crawl space, dusty, dark, but wide enough for a person to slip through. It connected to a small storm cellar with a rusted metal door that opened to the backyard. A hidden passage. A way out. Caroline's heart pounded. Fate or something. Gertrude had given them a chance. The night of the fire. The following Friday, Caroline's unease swelled into full-blown dread. Daniel was unusually affectionate, insisting on a family night despite Evelyn's repeated invitations to dinner. He poured her wine, her favorite, though she hadn't told him she was avoiding alcohol. He smiled too much. Watched her too closely. By 10 p.m., the scent of gas prickled Caroline's nose. Her blood ran cold. "Mommy," Sophie whispered, gripping her hand. "It's time." Caroline didn't hesitate. She grabbed the emergency bag she'd packed earlier, cash, documents, a burner phone, and led Sophie to the basement. As they slipped into the hidden passage, a muffled click echoed upstairs, followed by the sharp hiss of flames catching. The house roared to life above them. Smoke curled through the cracks. Caroline held Sophie close as they crawled through the passage, her lungs burning, her heart a frantic drumbeat. Behind them, the home that had held their memories, Christmas mornings, bedtime stories, was consumed in a fury of orange and black. They emerged into the cool night air just as sirens wailed in the distance. Neighbors shouted. Caroline turned back to see the house engulfed, her mind numb with terror and relief. Justice and healing. The investigation unfolded like a nightmare made real. Traces of accelerant were found. The life insurance documents became damning evidence. Confronted with mounting proof, Evelyn cracked first, admitting to the plot. Daniel followed, his mask of charm shattering in a cold confession. He'd planned the fire for months, driven by financial desperation and Evelyn's relentless pressure to secure Sophie's future. Caroline sat through every court hearing, her hand steady on Sophie's small shoulder. Justice moved slowly, but it came. Daniel and Evelyn were convicted of attempted murder and arson, their carefully constructed lies unraveling in the harsh light of truth. A new dawn. Months later, Caroline and Sophie settled into a modest apartment overlooking the Willamette River. The scars of betrayal lingered. A trust was no longer Regia, but they were alive. They were free. One rainy morning, as they watched boats drift along the water, Sophie leaned against her mother and whispered, "We're safe now, right?" Caroline kissed the top of her daughter's head, her eyes bright with both pain and pride. "Yes, baby. We're safe. And we're stronger than we've ever been." She understood now that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the quiet decision to protect what matters, even when the world is burning around you. Their story became more than survival. It was a testament to the power of instinct, the innocence of a child's warning, and the unbreakable bond between mother and daughter. And as the Portland rain fell soft and steady, Caroline knew one unshakable truth: no fire, no betrayal, no darkness could ever extinguish the light they carried within them.